Welcome to another VMA3D tutorial. This time we're going to go over videos a little bit. So the first thing, let's go to Actions. We'll add a floor to start. And next we'll add a video. It says drop video here, and you'll notice again that the content window down here has changed to videos, video loops, more videos, Chroma Key, YouTube, movies, my videos. Now video loops mean they just loop continuously without any hiccups. So if we pick one, we drag it up, you'll notice that it adds it to the scene for us. And we'll go over a few things. Just like before on the images, we have the cut for the in and out, how to bring it in, how to take it out, and what kind of object to place the video on. Flat plane, cube, sphere. If you want it on a cube, you'll notice that the cube now has the video texture mapped onto all sides for you. The first thing you'll notice up here is endpoint and outpoint. Now by default it starts at endpoint and goes to the entire length of the video. If it says 0.00, this is probably because you're using an external video like YouTube or something. It will still play the entire video, but sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to find what the out point is of one of those videos. But we've come up with a way that you can play only a part of the video. If you don't want to play the whole thing, you bring it in, it'll show you the defaults, you hit grab, and it'll come up with a set point and an end point. So you can set the start and you can set the end. So if we play it and say we'll pause it right there, that's where we want it to start. And say right there is where we want it to end, we set the end point. And then we can play the range, it'll just play that section of it from there to there. And then when we have it the way we want, we just hit update settings. Now you notice that it now shows the end point and the out point, and it's just going to play that little section of the loop. Now on a seamless video, it's not really a good idea, but say you have a person speaking and you only want a couple lines, or if they've got parts that you want to cut out, you can set the end point and out point to take care of that. A lot of the same things that apply to the images apply here. You have your type of easement if you want it to come in and to go out. It always uses the same on the in and out points. On the cut in and the cut out, excuse me. You just place that there. Mesh type is before. We have the basic Phong-Lambert and refraction on this one. Position, rotation, scale, width and height, opacity. Speed, if you have a video that you want double speed or half speed, this is where you can adjust it. Defaults to 1, it plays at normal speed. But if you want it twice as fast, you'd put 2. If you want it slower, you put 0.5. You get the idea. And start delay tells it how long to wait in the beginning before it starts playing the video. Right now it doesn't seem where that would be useful, but when you've got 20 different objects in the scene and you've got it timed out to music, you might want to wait before it starts to play, even though you've added it into the scene. So this is where you can adjust that. Look at camera means that it's going to look at the camera. So when you're positioning a video in there and you hit it, you see where it now moves with the camera? This can be very useful in particular scenes. Auto start means that it's going to automatically start playing the video when you load it in. Loop video, it's going to loop it. Once it plays through once, it'll play it again. That's very useful on the seamless video loops. But sometimes you might want a particular video to play over and over again. Cast shadow and receive shadow. Again, these take the use of a light in your scene, but they will cast shadows and receive shadows. So if something goes in front of it, the shadow will appear on the video itself. Filter we haven't gone over. Let's go back over here, which is a very useful one. And we'll go back to a flat plane. This is a Chroma Key Green-Screen. You might use these in your business now. If not, there's tons of stuff out there. You can actually record just by putting a piece of green cloth behind you and make sure that it's got very good lighting. And you'll notice this might not be the effect you're looking for. You might not want it to be green on there. You might want it to blend. So if we come up here to Chroma Key under Filter, you'll notice that all that becomes transparent. So now it looks like she's actually in the scene. Now, since she's flat, it might look a little odd. So you remember the look at camera? We can hit the look at camera, and now she follows anywhere we go with the camera. We do have options if you want to change the color from green. If you do blue screen, you can come up here and change it to blue, whatever color you want. And we do have a few other filters included. Edge gives you this effect. Emboss. And again, you can go through these different ones and see some of them. Sepia. Now you might want to look at this action called delete. Delete will delete any object that has been selected. Remember on images where you can have 0 set for the time, which means it stays there forever? Well, if you use the delete object, that will actually delete that object whenever it hits this command. Now, as it is, it doesn't really make sense to delete it right after you play it. We have a function called wait, and we'll put wait in between here. So you want to play it for so many seconds, and then we want to wait for 3 seconds, and then we'll go to delete and say we want to delete the video. So now when we go to stop, and we go to full screen, it's playing the video, and then it deletes. Now you can't see the list, so we'll do it here. Let's change her back to use the Chroma Key. We'll hit stop and play, and you'll see as it goes which one is playing. Right now it's on the wait, and then it goes to delete, and she's gone now. We'll go over a few more options here. We have post-processing, which means it adds special effects to the scene. If we want to colorify the scene with red, or we can select whatever color we want. We'll get her playing again, and you can see the entire scene is red. Dot screen. And it affects the entire scene. Everything that's in there. I have bleach, blur, camera flip, film, bunch of different ones. We'll bring in animate. Now the most useful part of animate is the rotation. And we'll click on the add video and click here, and she'll start to rotate. Kind of hard to see with the dot. And since we had her selected to follow the camera, but you'll see now that she's rotating and turning. We'll try this with an image and make it a little bit easier to notice. We'll add a texture. Let's change that to a cube. Now we've got our cube. We'll come back here and select the add image and do a test. Now we've got that object rotating in the scene. And you can change it. It'll go up and down. Have it go in a crazy direction. And you have rotation speed. Just change the number to whatever you want. If you want it real slow, a lower number. Faster, a higher number. But we do rotation, scale, and opacity. If you want it to ping pong, which means it goes one way and then the other, just select the rotate button under ping pong or scale, and it'll go up and down. Opacity will fade in and out. And user manual means you can set the rotation, how far you want it to go, where you want it to start, where you want it to end, and the pivot point. And back to action. We have another one called update object. And we can select which object we want to change. And this lets you, for example, change the texture. So if we go to content and select a new texture, it'll change the texture on the cube for us. Again, not very useful right away, but you might want to have a weight in between there. Another useful thing is you might want to have click or hover. So say we add click in here, and hover works the same, it's just when the mouse is hovered over it. Click means you actually have to click it. So we'll add click object to this image. And normally it'll open a window when you click it. But say we don't want any windows open up, we want it to update the object. So we'll say no windows, and the action lines under here tells it when that's clicked, it's going to use the next action in the list and play that. So if we just want one thing, we just wanted to change the texture, we'll just add one. But you could have 2 or 3 or 10. It's up to you what you want to do with it. It's very customizable. So let's go over here and hit stop and play again. And you notice when I mouse over it, the finger appears. And when we click it, Now we got the change. Hover does exactly the same thing. It's just when you hover over it that it would change. Now we have settings for cameras, like setting, cut, fade, move, lock, unlock, attach. We'll go over those in the next video.